Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Greg Furman and these are the market positions for August the 22nd, 2017. Now, our first trade for tonight is going to be in the Forex market. We're looking at the Euro-US pair. Now, as per this week's Forex Weekly Outlook, where I've talked extensively about US dollar weakness, which is coming back on. We've got political unrest. We've got a lot of issues going on in the US. Now, when we look at the indicators from VantagePoint here, our key VantagePoint level comes in at 117.37, and this is the same level again that I've discussed in this week's Forex Weekly Outlook. We had a test of this level today. We've come all the way down. You can see we've hit a low of 137.31, which represents a very, very good buying opportunity. Now, going forward here for tomorrow, once again, this video is ahead of the market. It's being done at 6:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Monday night, ahead of the Asian session and the European session for Tuesday trade. So when we look at these indicators, our neural index is turned back to the upside. Our predicted short, medium, and long-term differences and our strength indicator all pushing higher. We're firmly above the zero line on the predicted MACD, but now we're starting to break above the 60 level on the predicted RSI. We sit at 64.1. Now, what that's doing is it's showing momentum. So with that, combined with that triple EMA cross from VantagePoint, we can see that we've had this signal before. Our triple EMA cross combined with our neural index, a crossover on our predicted MACD, and a break of the 60 level led to a rally from the basically the 111 mark all the way up to the 119 mark. So an absolutely fantastic call from VantagePoint, and it does look like we're starting to see a very similar signal form again. Now, you can see that I've drawn our trend line resistance on the upside and the trend line support on the downside. So we want to make sure that all stops are below 116.50, but we've got to break through this. We've closed above 118, but now we're looking for an extended move back towards the 119 area. Now, the individual crossovers from VantagePoint, our short-term crossover is back to the upside. Medium term is crossed back to the upside. The long term is still struggling a bit here. There's been a lot of volatility in the market, but it does look like we're going higher. So now all we have to do, guys, is go into that all-important daily report to fine-tune the entry point for tomorrow. Now, in most cases, I should say, the market will move back towards the predicted high and low on a daily basis as it moves within that 1%. Currencies usually move 1% of their value per day, on average about 110 pips. So for tomorrow, we're looking for a very minor pullback to 117.51. We're then going to target 118.56. Now, what I like to do in a case like this is present alternative trades here. Now, with this trend line break above 118, our pullback tonight may be very, very shallow. A bigger move to the upside could already be underway. So if we hold above 118, then you may want to buy high. This is something that a lot of traders are not comfortable with, but in my respectful opinion, buying high and selling low can be a very good thing, provided the indicators support that. So right now, the majority of the indicators, other than the predicted MACD that looks to be corrective in nature, that crossover to the downside, that's the only real indicator here with the long-term crossover that suggests that we are not going to go into a breakout scenario. However, with the US dollar weakness, I think that there's a better than 50% chance that the Euro-US is going to break back towards that 119 area. Now, our second trade for tonight is going to be in the ProShares UltraShort Dow 30, the DXD ETF. Now, last week we were doing the SH. We were basically betting that the S&P 500 was going to continue to move lower. So this week, we're moving over to the Dow Jones. We're looking for places of value to basically short the equity markets. Now, what we can assess here is that we have a fresh triple EMA cross from VantagePoint. That's our 3-day crossing over our 8-day and our 18-day predicted moving average. Now, our additional indicators are a little bit mixed, but overall, we have a crossover on the predicted MACD to the upside. We're sitting at 58.8 on the predicted RSI. So basically, most of these indicators are warning that we're going higher. Now, the neural index is down, but that is a very short-term indicator. When we look at our individual crossovers, very, very important that we're checking those. Our short-term is good, medium-term is good and our long term is good, and of course the triple cross. So all of those are very good here, guys. This is what we want to make sure that we're running through all of these checks and that we know what these key levels are. Now, when we look at the key VantagePoint 18-day predicted moving average, that's coming in at 1130. We're closing at 1144. Now, once again, if the equity markets have hit a top and we are getting ready to move lower, which I believe is very possible here given the global circumstances, then this particular ETF could be a very, very good medium and longer term trade. So with that key level holding at 1130 here, guys, again, we look at those, the individual crossovers are all confirming we're going higher, meaning the Dow is going lower. All we have to do is go into that all important daily report to, again, fine tune tomorrow's entries. So with a close of 1144, we're looking for a minor pullback to 1132. We initially target 1144, but this particular ETF, I'll point out here, once again, if we look at it over the last 6 months, we've been up at $13 per share. So it looks like we have a lot of room potentially to the upside. Now, when we look at downside, we're looking at stop losses. We can, what I see here is a pretty substantial bottom at 1110. So we want to make sure all stops are below $11 per share here, guys. And on an intraday basis only, we can take profit, but this is definitely something we should be looking at for a longer term trade.